Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. I'm Andre over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and of course our official website, thestephenknightshow.com. Rather watch us go on our YouTube channel, Stephen Knight Show. All right, so a jury acquitted Nathan Woodward on charges of reckless manslaughter and criminally neglect, a homicide in connection to the death of 21-year-old Elijah McClain this past Monday. Woodward, a former officer for the Akron, Colorado Police Force, responded to a 2019 call alleging that McClain was displaying sketchy behavior while leaving a convenience store. Shortly after, Woodward placed McClain in a carotid hold, which prosecutors argued was a contributing factor to his death. Nevertheless, he was found not guilty. Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser had this to say about the verdict. He said, "Today's verdict is not the one we hoped for, but we respect the jury system and accept this outcome." What people are saying is they still have the two paramedics that they gave him the lethal dose of that medication, I guess, to calm him down, that killed him, and they think they will be held accountable for the death. They were saying the jury didn't think this officer was. But what are your thoughts on this, Chike? I wasn't surprised that he got off, but what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's a shame that some of us have become numb to this because it happens so much. It's just another story, another black man, another city, another town, another cop, another case, another loss, another family that's destroyed.
Right.
When is it going to end? Like, and I get that the police are out there and they have to protect themselves, but at what point, and I'm speaking of both sides, and I know that there's mental illness in some of these situations, but at what point does the person that's the perp, so to speak, say, hey, they're killing people out here, maybe I need to act differently? When does the cop involved say, hey, I don't want to be one of those cops that kill people, maybe I need to do something differently?
Right.
It has to be something, it has to be some give either way. I'm telling you now, if a cop tells me to stop, pull over, whatever, I'm laying down on the ground straight up. If you're gonna shoot me, you're gonna shoot me in a position with my hands open wide, my legs spread. Shoot me down here, because then it'll be proof positive that you murdered me. I'm not fighting you. I'm not arguing with you. What's more important is your life.
Right.
That's the most precious thing that you have. Don't play with it. And police officers need to have more regard for human life. I get it's a criminal. In your eyes, it's a criminal. It's a perp. It's someone that you're apprehending. It's a life. There's a family attached to that. Maybe children attached to that. Just go about things differently. I'm tired of hearing about this stuff. Seriously.
Yeah. And this story, this guy, he was on the spectrum. He had a mask on his face because he had health issues. And he was walking home at night from the store with a hoodie on. And, he was terrified when they approached him. You know what I mean? And so, they administered that medication to calm him down, and it killed him essentially. And so, Linnea, what are your thoughts on this?
Who authorized the use of that medication?
That part.
Right.
Who authorized that?
Because, and from a medical standpoint, I'm sorry, Linnea, but from a medical standpoint, if you give someone medication and they're not under your medical care, that's poisoning.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's negligence, because you don't know what his medical situation is, and you're injecting something in him. And most of the time, what I hear about, and he was only like 17, am I correct?
21.
He was 21.
He was real fragile, and
Yeah. So a majority of the time when I hear about people who are on the spectrum, they are super sensitive to and that does something to them.
Yeah.
So cops rolled up on him. It wasn't like they were like, hey,
right,
yelling. It was a lot going on. They probably had the sirens going on. It was a lot going on, and you done freaked this young man out. But there should be accountability across the board.
Yeah.
Across the board. You don't want to hold this cop accountable criminally. Let's talk about civil. Everybody across the board.
Yep.
Somebody needs to pay. It won't bring him back, but somebody needs to pay.
Yeah.
But we keep having these conversations. We keep having these conversations about Black bodies constantly dropping all over the place at the hands of the police. And like Chike said, I'm not going to lie to you. Whenever, if ever I get, it's happened when I've been pulled over, like more recently, not recently, but what I do in case I get pulled over, I'm hitting record on my phone instantly. Then I'm putting my hand, like as soon as I see, whoop, bam, I'm instantly hitting record. Now, what you want? Because I know where I got to reach at to get my wallet. I know where I got to reach at to get. I ain't moving nothing. So you get to this car, and then you're looking. Because I got to go here and I got to go here to get you what you need. I want to make it home. But we've had this conversation before. I don't understand why people turn into Superman, not even Superman, dumb man, when you feel like you want to go back and forth with people who are trigger happy. I don't understand why people need to go back and forth with these people because at the end of the day, you're not going to win. Your goal is to make it home, period.
And that's not the place to have the fight. The fight is in the courtroom.
Right.
And most people don't pay attention to your first right in that situation. You have the right to remain silent. You do not have to talk. Use that right. It's more powerful than you think. All of this and it doesn't work. Silence is what works.
It's true.
Because you ain't this.
Right. Get home. Get home. That's your job. Well, Alan Bragg, he's the Manhattan District Attorney who's currently prosecuting Jonathan Majors. So Jonathan Majors' attorney are saying this man is not equipped for the job because a recent case he did shows that he allegedly feels a way about prominent Black men. So apparently there's this guy, Adam Foss. He's a prominent Black criminal justice reform advocate and former Boston prosecutor. So he was charged for rape by the same DA. What happened was he met this girl. They had been chatting. She's a white woman, 25-year-old. They had been chatting for about a month. Then they finally met up in a hotel. She says that she declined his sexual advances. And once she went to sleep, he sexually assaulted her. But his attorneys say that's not the case because they have text messages where she was telling her friends that she had an amazing night and called him a beautiful man. She changed her story once he ghosted her after they met up in the hotel. And so this case has come to light from Jonathan Majors' attorney, and they're criticizing. They said that by pursuing this baseless false rape case against a prominent Black man, despite overwhelming evidence of his innocence, it shows that he values votes over Black lives and popularity over justice. So, Linnea, do you think they have a case here? Jonathan Majors' attorney, they have something here?
I think they absolutely do. Because then that starts to look like a pattern. And it's crazy because D.A. Bragg is a Black man. But not only the man who was accused before, his attorney is Jonathan Majors' attorney.
Yeah.
So, that dynamic there where she's already been through this. And the fact that with the Jonathan Majors case, you had so many inconsistencies and you still haven't charged this girl. And you heard that she didn't lay hands on this man. You still haven't charged her. She was able to leave the country, from my understanding.
Yeah. And
you still haven't charged her, but he's still going through the gauntlet with his life and his livelihood hanging in the balance. And for what? For what? So I'm hoping that this attorney takes Attorney Bragg to task. I hope it doesn't affect the other thing that he's handling with the orange. But that's beside the point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Chike, as Linnea said, so this DA did not want to press charges against the woman, the white woman that Jonathan Majors was dating, even though the NYPD believed that Jonathan Majors was telling the truth and they wanted to charge her. So that's why this attorney is saying something's not right here. What are your thoughts?
So I'm going to take a different angle on it. If you have ripe fruit on the tree and it looks like it has a lot of juice, you're going to squeeze it. And you're going to squeeze it until you get all that you can get out of it. Jonathan Major is a fruit on the tree. He got a lot of juice. And they're going to squeeze it and squeeze it and squeeze it. Because as time goes on, the motions filed, different things that come up, paperwork gets done, that's more juice. They're going to ride it out. They may wait, even if they do press charges on her, it won't be for some time. But in the meantime, they're getting juice from Jonathan Major. Because what does he have to do? Defend himself.
Right. But like Leanne said, she left the country. After all this happened, she left the country.
It doesn't matter if she left the country or not. They if she doesn't show up ever again and they still want to pursue something through him, they still can. Because doesn't it become like a state issue?
Yeah, I think so. All right, well, last story. So Yvonne Orji, she is played Molly on Insecure, and so she was recently on Chelsea Handler's podcast, and she revealed that she's a virgin at 39. She said she saved herself for marriage, and that she feels sorry for the man that she gives it away to because she has a lot of pent up frustration and joking about it. But the conversation turned to: is it a red flag if someone's 39 years old and a virgin? Linnea.
No. Like, I mean, we were joking about it over the weekend when we talked about it. I was like, is she a virgin or is she a born again virgin?
That's what it was.
She was engaged at one point in time. And then Jay was like, I don't know, them scenes are Insecure. That don't scream no virgin. But I'm like, that's different.
This is a great actress.
Yeah, I'm like, so that's a little bit different, but no, it's not a red flag. Technically, that's really how the landscape of Western society is. Like, you're supposed to wait, get married, then have children, blah 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 blah. But that's not the makeup of 90% of people in America.
Right.
So for her, and kudos to her, and being able to do that, like, it's like she got herpes or something. But y'all sitting out here listening to somebody say her cooch lips is pink and her booty hole is brown, and that's okay. And she's pregnant,
Right.
and she's pregnant. Yeah. I don't even know about who, but she's pregnant. Okay, you're right.
Right.
Yvonne.
She gave me thoughts on this. Is it a red flag?
No. Actually, this just past weekend, I heard a report where they're saying that there's probably more virgins than there ever has been due to the way we consume porn and how, well, not us, not our generation, the younger generation. They're more porn driven than actual. So with sexually transmitted diseases, the utensils that we use for separation, and the access to porn, they're not really looking to do the deed as much anymore. They can get it virtually. They don't want to be close. They don't talk to each other. No one dates properly. So there's more virgins than there ever have been. And people are they're carrying their virginity into a later age. So you have like 20-some-year-olds. I'm not talking about people No,
not that. I was gonna say that. I wouldn't.
But yeah. The virginal window has definitely widened in the newer generations because sex isn't what it was.
They missing out. We gonna say when they
And can I just add that these younger folks, they would rather do oral. That's one of the things that I read. They would rather do oral. They would rather do oral, and they don't consider that that's
Sex.
not sex. You know what herpes is, honey? You know, you can still get all that stuff all up in there. It's still a form of sex, but they just do it all willy-nilly. I met 3524 on Instagram, and we hooked up, and all I did was just tuck on his pee a little bit. That don't count. If you don't get your ass out of here, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And in some circles, if you put it everywhere except the main place, you're still a virgin technically.
Yeah, that's what those girls live in those when they all get the Amish people, they'll say that they do everything but, and they still virgins.
Everything but. I see
literally everything but.
Everything. This girl was like, yeah, I'm a virgin. No one's ever been there, just in my butthole.
Right.
What? Damn.
Never have I ever.
Never have I ever.
You out there. Listen. Well, dear, thank you so much for Hot Topics. Chiki, I'll see you in movie reviews when we come back. Movie reviews for Adam and Chiki. We're back after this.